volume of a cone. We all love cones, especially when it's an ice cream cone. So getting started, if you are given a circle with a line that goes all the way across, we're going to call this the diameter. However, make sure that you understand that if you are given the diameter, you need to divide that by 2 to get the radius, because the radius is half the size of the diameter. So if your diameter is 4, your radius is going to be 2 centimeters. Very important that you do this because the radius is going to be the measure that we are going to be substituting into the formula. Now, if we're given a cylinder like so, the formula that we use to find the volume of a cylinder is capital B times H, where capital B is the area of the base. Here's the base, which is a circle. And if I want to find the area of a circle, I need to multiply pi times the radius squared. So these two values right here are going to give me the area of the base. Once I do this, I multiply it by the height, and that gives me the volume. However, we're covering cone today. Well, if I draw these two slanted lines and a height that goes from the center of the base, if you can tell that this cone is taking up less space than the cylinder. Well, it's actually taking up 1, 2, 3, 1/3 less space than the cylinder. So we're going to go ahead and draw the base right here. And we're going to draw the height that extends up from the center of the base. And then we're going to go ahead and draw the slanted lines. Now, the formula that we're going to use for volume of a cone is going to be exactly the same as the one for a cylinder, except we are going to multiply by 1/3 because a cone is 1/3 the size of a cylinder. So let's look at an example. Well, before we look at this example, the area of the base is still a circle. So when we look at our cone, that's the height, and right there. And don't forget that the circle, it looks like an oval, but it is a circle, and we're still going to find the area of a circle. So this is still the formula that we're going to be using for area of a circle. All right, so here's an example. Volume of a cone is 1/3 times capital B times H equals volume. Capital B is still the area of the base, so we are going to use this formula for capital B. We'll be using 3.14, which is an approximation of pi, and the height of the cone is going to be your H. So we're going to go ahead and draw a cone with its base and a radius with its height, and we're going to go ahead and close in those slanted lines so we have this beautiful three-dimensional cone. This cone will have a radius of 4 centimeters and a height of 8 centimeters. The formula we're going to use is 1/3 times area of the base times the height. So let's go ahead and expand this. This is going to be 1/3 times area of the base is pi times the radius squared. And then don't forget to bring down the height. So in order to find volume of a cone, we're going to be multiplying 1, 2, 3, 4 things right here. All right, so now let's go ahead and substitute what we know. So 1/3 times pi, which is 3.14, times our radius, which is 4. So we're going to put 4 squared, times the height of our cone, which is going to be 8 centimeters. So we're going to go ahead and multiply this. Now, we do get to multiply it on a calculator. Let's go ahead and turn off that alarm. So let's go ahead and multiply it on the calculator. So in order to multiply it on the calculator, there's different methods of doing this. You can do 1 divided by 3. I'm going to have to move to the right so that my blinking cursor is not in the denominator. See how it's on the side? Once it's there, I'm going to multiply by 3.14, which is pi, times the radius, which is 4 squared, times the height. And the answer is 133 and 97 hundredths cubic centimeters. Okay? Well, that's one method of doing it on the calculator. What's another method of doing it? Well, we can focus on pi, radius squared, height, and then we can divide it by 3. That's another way. So to do that, we can start off with parentheses, 3.14 times 4 squared times 8, close parentheses, and divide by 3. And as you can tell, we get the same answer right there. So there's two methods, but just don't forget, if you're going to use 1/3, you do need to multiply. If you're going to decide to divide by 3, you do need to put parentheses and then divide by 3. And when you put divide by 3, it's going to turn it into a fraction, okay? So let me go ahead and do that one more time. So if you do 3.14 times 4 squared times 8, close parentheses, it's all fine and dandy. But once you do the division, it's going to turn it into a fraction. And that's going to give us the answer. Okay? All right, so this is how we find the volume of a cone. Have a good one, guys.